Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the recap here at Raceface, brought to you by Janneman, Pruis, the world's slowest alien, and myself, Stephen Kernick, the world's fastest back marker. Glad to be back here for episode 2, but let's talk about the Grid Cup that we had, which took the place of the Grid Championship Round 1 as it was delayed by a week. We had the Grid Cup, 2,000 Rand prize pool on the line, and some great racing. Third place going to Giovanni.0, who managed to keep a very clean race, not getting caught out in any carnage, and managed to focus on what he needs to do. Go for the checkered flag as quick as possible, getting a third place in the bag for the Genesis Esports Lamborghini.
Absolutely. Good evening, Stephen. Yes, great race by Giovanni. And it's laying down what lies ahead of this season. I think we're going to expect some great racing, some new faces in the Pro Series, and some old faces not returning this season.
Yeah, that's it. But let's jump over to second place, which goes to Ryan Ottens, who had to really play a game of catch at this point, but leapfrogging his teammates in the pits and moved his way up into second place to go and grab that trophy and now look to put the charge on. Great start. And sure, some great motivation to get him going for the championship, which is starting this week. But ultimately, first place, Tariq Adam, who had a bit of an interesting race, had to play a little bit of catch-up on his way through. It wasn't the easiest of races for Tariq Adam. He had to work for it, but a well-deserved first place overall. And considering he had his teammate nearly go and have a problem, well, had a problem in front of him, and he narrowly missed out, well, he nearly went and had a difficult time even further, but due to luck being on his side, grabbing that first place and getting his hand into that 2,000 Rand prize pool, that's not a bad night's work and a great way to get in the head of your competition.
Absolutely, as you said, Stephen. At one stage, I thought it was going to be a very close race between Tariq and Ryan Ottens. We saw a very close battle between Tariq and Christian Deploy until Christian had a problem of the four-legged kind, shall we say, and unfortunately, had to spun out in the race, and that gave Tariq the lead, and he brought it home in magnificent style.
Yeah, that's it. Last 10 minutes and scored a win. Coming up, though, our round 1 has been moved to the 10th of August, so our round 1 will be at Circuit of Americas. Suzuka will then become our round 8, which is after Bathurst. Bathurst takes 7. So just go and move all the numbers down 1. So round 1, Circuit of Americas, happening this Thursday for the Grid Championship. Brought to you by Metal State and Raceface. And also some huge news on the horizon. So keep an eye out on the social media, because it's going to really pop off this season. That I can guarantee.
Absolutely. Looking forward to this one.
Moving on to our Raceface GT3 Sprint Series, though. Third place going to Christopher Radloff with a fantastic run, taking a different car to what he used previously, utilizing the Mercedes. That worked very well for him, but did look like the tires started taking a hammering on the early parts of the race. Eventually came together, but towards the end, he had to work hard once again. But securing a third place, not a bad day's work, and a great start to the Raceface GT3 Sprint Series Season 10 for the likes of the Hybrid Academy team. Second place ultimately going to this man over here, Daniel Petro, who had a fantastic run. He's definitely a driver I want to keep an eye on, because he has been improving every season, and now he has become a very, very viable threat for the guys out at the front. So keep an eye on this Lamborghini, as Daniel Petro is looking to stamp his name in history for the Raceface GT3 Sprint Series Season 10.
Absolutely, Stephen. Daniel has been improving over the past, I would say, season or so. He started featuring during the course of last season, working his way up to the front. But will he be able to catch this man, our first place man, Mr. Ryan Ottens? He kicked off the new season with the first place. He's our previous season winner. Stephen, this man is absolutely on a roll, leading from the front, winning the first race. Do you think he's going to make it back-to-back championships?
Well,
time will only tell.
Well, this is it. If he wants to try and replicate the magic, I think he's got a lot of work on his hands this season, as the entire grid is definitely putting down the pace, wanting to improve, wanting to get better, some new names added to the field, and some new cars choices coming into play for the guys. I think we're in for a great race, and Ryan Ottens, though, I think is going to have to work for this one. But coming up on Wednesday, 9th of August, we head over to the Circuit of Americas to go have a bit of fun. A circuit that both you and I, not a big fan of, but does provide some really intense racing action, especially that turn 1 being an Achilles heel for a lot of drivers.
Yeah, turn 1 exit, totally blind, and then you go into that fast sweeping left-right-handers. It's a circuit you need to get your flow right. It's a circuit that, Stephen, you need to make peace with whatever setup you take. Remember, you've got that long back straight that you need to deal with. So if you're going to stick that downforce on the car to deal with the tights and twisties, you're going to have a deficit in terms of top end speed down that long back straight, and you might be a sitting duck. Tune back that downforce, try and focus on a little bit more mechanical grip. You might have top speed, but then the cars with higher downforce, they're going to have the edge in the tights and twisties. So I think this is going to be a very interesting race. It's a race we're going to see with lots of different setups on tracks, cars with lots of different top end speeds. So looking forward to this one.
Yeah, and now moving on to our next one, the Raceface TCR Series Season 2. And this is a 2-heat season. So, moving on, it's our Raceface TCR Series 3rd place of Heat 1. Let me get that one right. Going to Jason Kutsi. Oh, there we go. Heat 1 going to Jason Kutsi in 3rd place, having a great run. And really had to work hard to try and gain up through the field. Didn't have the easiest of times, but really had some phenomenal racing. I'm sure he had to wipe the sweat off his brow. But a 3rd place is never a bad start to a season. It means you carry quite a few points into your next race. Moving on to our 2nd place, it goes to Julian Familiaris, who is looking to really stamp his name here in the TCR series, sliding his way through, narrowly missing cars the whole time and counting his luck through the race. But ultimately, the winnings goes to the spoil. Well, the spoils go to the winner, and that was the 2nd place to him. But unfortunately, wasn't able to catch up to our 1st place man, Yuri Umpi Swart.
I mean, Yuri just led from the front, and I don't want to say he ran away with it, but he made a pretty good example of how things should be done. Leading from start to finish, opened up a gap, bringing the car home in 1st place. You know, laying down what needs to be done in a race like this, and setting a true example of how a TCR car should be driven, Stephen.
That's it. And moving over to our Heat 2 of the Raceface TCR series.
Something new for a lot of these guys. They're used to driving the fixed setup series. But now we're moving on to Laguna Seca. I think this is going to be a totally different track, Stephen. Old Park is a very narrow, tight, twisty track, figure 8 track. Laguna Seca, a little bit more open, a little wider, a lot more room to overtake, especially in that turn 1. If you're brave enough leading up to that dreaded corkscrew, I'm looking really forward to this one.
Yeah, the corkscrew, let's see how it's going to influence the race. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting one. But coming up tomorrow evening, though, is our first ever F4 Season 1. As we head to Oran Park, we watched the TCRs do it last week. Now it's time for some open single-seater racing at Oran Park. The F4s haven't got as much power. They've got a lot more aero, which means you can keep your foot in it and try and claw your way through. And as we know, well, Janneman is also going to be participating, giving us a bit of inside action from the circuit in the 20-minute heat of this race. So keep an eye out for our F4s at Oran Park starting tomorrow evening here on Raceface.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I think around Oran Park, the F4 might be a handful. Even in the Hungara ring race last night, they definitely proved to be a handful. For those of you who don't know me and Stephen, we do a little bit of racing, and we currently racing in an international series in the F4, so don't have fair amount of laps in these cars.
It's going to be interesting. But moving on to our Phoenix from the Ashes category, that I love to talk about it. Let's move on to our Raceface F1 2023. Third place going to LMN Tricks, as they battle their way around, having a fantastic run, and it became very, very close. The drivers having to work incredibly hard. The times were a lot closer. Also, we didn't really see guys pulling away as much as we did in the first race. So keep an eye out on us. The guys are going to be fighting their way through. But third place for LMN Tricks as he battles his way up. He tried closing down after a little bit of sideways action to this man. Second place, Azure, who had a successful run in the first leg of the season. Unfortunately, when it came down to the wire, he had little bits of niggles, which dropped him down into second place, out of that DRS range, and losing out a lot of time. So it's going to be interesting if he'll be able to pull it back after everything that has gone on with him. So let's also move on to our first place. First place going to Corsair. He having a fantastic run out on the field. Really put on an almighty charge. Got into the DRS range. Opened it up. Got past. And no one could see him in sight as he charged his way to the front. So keep an eye on Corsair. If you are interested in participating with our F1 2023 League, well, jump onto the Discord at Raceface.Pro. Go onto our website, www.raceface.pro. and come and join up with our F1 2023. But coming up, though, we have got Montreal, Canada, 8th of August, starting tomorrow, round 3 of the leg of the F1 2023 here at Raceface. We're looking forward to seeing what the guys will be able to do, who will be able to pull out the wire, and who will be able to go and get a win at Canada.
Absolutely, Canada, one of those, sweeping high-speed tracks. Awesome stuff in a Formula 1 car. Let's see what these drivers can do in the next race on the 8th of August. I think it's not going to be missed. If you haven't signed up already, sign up for this one and go racing with the F1 2023 guys.
And try not miss turn 1 when you come flying out. That's always the difficult one.
I always miss turn 1.
Well, this has always got the very fun pit, which actually ended a few people's races, so just be cautious of that. Cold tires, folks, cold tires. Moving on to our AMS2 F1. We had a great time out there. It was its debut season at Suzuka, and everyone loved Automobilista 2 and what they were able to do. The setups, the whole way the game engine has been redefined with the 1.5 update has really brought it to life. Third place going to Christopher as he went and chased down the rest of the field in a super close race, locking himself with 15 points on the cards, chasing over our second place man, who's usually in GT cars. Take a look who's there, Janneman.
Interesting.
So, usually playing around with GT cars and clawing his way up to the top, going for a second GT3 championship for the Sprint Series. Second place in an open cockpit car. Are we starting to see the change? Are we starting to see the rise? Is this the little taste that he needs of victory to go and battle it out to catch our first place man, Brandon Kruger, going and locking 26 points in for the race, and it's going to be absolutely incredible to see how these guys are going to really boot their way through. Ryan Otten's not able to catch down Brandon Kruger just as yet, but was getting close. So let's see if that's going to change it up. And considering we've got quite a field of different drivers for AMS2, I'm really looking forward to seeing what's coming up as they move over to Montreal on the 12th of August for a bit of Canada action, the same as our F1 2023. Will Andre Serradio, who was in the race, will Reginald Matari be able to go and claw his way through? Dean Cabasa, Altman Bertha, Graham Mole, maybe more go and have a bit of fun and get the fastest lap time, get the most points, and get the win at the end of the evening. Well, the only way you're going to find out is actually joining in, because this is live streamed, ladies and gentlemen. So 12th of August, expect to see the live stream and come and see all the action of Automobilista 2 at Raceface for the F1 Automobilista 2 Championship.
Yeah, Stephen, as you said, this one's getting live streamed, and for a change, people don't have to listen to our boring voices. You know, there's a change in commentary. They can listen to a new voice that's out.
Yeah, and also a big shout out to the new voice that's going and helping us out for the commentary, going and jumping in, having a bit of fun, giving us a bit of excitement. So big welcome to the broadcasting team, and come and have some fun with us. Come see what the guys are all about, and also go listen to the likes of Mike Pike, who goes and chatting about Automobilista 2. Honestly, maybe I need a few lessons from Mike about how to do the commentary properly, especially with these type of cars. So Mike Pike, welcome to the Raceface team. We love seeing you, we love hearing you, and stick around for a long time because it's going to be a fun time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
How's he handling Tim?
Beg your pardon?
Just how's he handling Tim?
Well, it's thereabout. It's Tim. Tim the cameraman is Tim the cameraman. He went and taught Chuck Norris how to go and bench press the entire planet. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, with that being said, we'd like to say thank you very much for joining us. Make sure that you go and take a look at our social media out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also join us out on Discord as well for a whole lot of fun. And thank you for joining us here at the recap of a Raceface, the recap episode 2. Can you believe it? We got a recap. Yoo-hoo! I'm excited. We're going to make it episode 3
for another episode.
There we go. If we have another episode, I need duct tape put over the screen. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Put a thumbs down if you didn't. And drop us a comment going in explaining what's your favorite of the racing, who you think is going to get all the different championships. Or if you just want to leave an emoji, why not? Put a nice emoji out there. We love seeing it. It helps the channel. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll see you next time right here at Raceface tomorrow evening for some F4 action. Season 1 of the Raceface F4. Goodbye, everybody.
Good night. Good night, everyone.